Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. When you see a bamboo stick with few holes and someone tells you that it's a musical instrument, and you take that instrument and you say, what music? They say, I don't know, but music comes out. So you take the flute and you blow, right? Nothing comes, only air comes out. And then you take that flute to your father, you take that flute to your mother, you take that flute to your cousin, your friends, everyone, you take that and you keep showing that to everyone and say, I don't know. People say, music comes out of this, music comes out of this. I don't know what music comes out. I don't think music is not possible to come out, because I have tried several times and I have seen many people also. No one. And then suddenly you go one day to a music concert. Ramani, say. There's no more, but I'm just saying. Or Mahalingam. Hari Prasad Chaurasya. You give that flute to him. Exquisite music. Keeping the audience spellbound for hours together. It's pouring. Invariably your belief will be what? If you don't know anything about music, you will start thinking he is doing some magic. The music is coming from somewhere else. It's not from this. Why? You pluck it out of his hand, you snatch it from his hand, and you blow, nothing comes. You give it back to him and he blows, music comes. And invariably your conclusion will be what? He is doing something. This is exactly what idol worship is all about. Now, the problem for all of us is we don't know how to extract music out of the flute. And we have asked that with reference to our known circle. But what you fail to understand is, if you want to know about music, what is music? You can't start singing and say that is music. Nor can you say you want to know about painting. Everyone who gets a pencil, who gets a brush, can paint. There's nothing unique about it. Everyone is capable of painting as long as you have hands. Of course, there are people who I have seen art. That fellow has both the hands is lost. With his feet he paints. The hand we are not able to paint. He is painting with feet. And there's another guy who paints with his mouth. He holds a brush in his mouth and he is doing a painting. Unbelievable. If you want to know about painting, you have to ask the standard is who. You want to know about music, the standard is who. You want to know about economics, standard is who. Similarly, you want to know about worship, who is the standard? Not all those people who go to Drupadi are standards, please. That one man who went there, Annamacharya is the standard. Mirabai is the standard. You want to know poetry, the standard is Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore is the standard for poetry. Kalidasa is the standard for poetry. He is also using the same words. But when he uses it, there is something. He says, similarly, with reference to worship, who is the standard is the point. Now, that's where we have this extraordinary or a beautiful art called symbolism, idol. This idol symbolism and all that is nothing but an attempt being made by these masters to move from the form to the formless. That's all. Because we all know the journey always starts from where we are, never where we should be. Now, this is where the mistake is being made by many people. Where you should be is formless. God has no form. Correct. You can't give a particular form to him and say this is what he is. You cannot do that. That is not possible. But that is where we should be. We should be able to understand the formless. But where are we living right now? We are living our life full of forms, isn't it? Full of known, limited, finite. What is known to us is only the forms actually. And it is just the technique these people used to bridge the known form dissolving into that unknown formless. That's this idol worship. And factually speaking, these two words, idol worship, they don't go together. It is actually, strictly speaking, it is a self-contradictory term. They don't go together. Idol and worship will never go together. But we do say idol worship. What is that? Idol is there in front of you. And when you worship, what happens? Idol is visible to everybody, but worship is not visible to everyone. That worship starts with the idol. Over a period of time, what happens is the idol dissolves itself, disappears. But you start from there. It is like, imagine a person who has been, quarantined lifetime. Right? He has to be living in the room. From birth, he has been inside the room only. He has never moved out, bedridden. And you talk to him about sky, what he will understand about sky is being just, lying in the bed looking at the ceiling. He turns to the left, he sees something. He turns to the right, he sees something. Nothing else he knows. And you tell him sky, it is so vast, it is so big. He will not understand. And you tell him, see, you want to see sky? Yeah, how can I see sky? I can't see sky. You say, all that you have to do is what? Just open the window. He will think the size of the sky is also going to be what? To the same size of the window. If the window is 4 feet by 3 feet, he thinks sky is also 4 feet by 3 feet. So what is behind that? Also has to be only that much. No? How can it be an infinite vast expanse? You can see. But all that you have to do is what? Open the window. It is through that window you see the form. The window has a particular dimension. There is a particular form. Whereas sky has no dimension. You can't say what is the breadth, what is the height. You can't say anything with reference to the sky. It is totally formless. But you see that sky and the expanse of that sky you can enjoy only through that window. Same way. You can't understand that formless. That is not possible. That formless to connect, you need something. And that something should be the window through which you dissolve into that formless. That is the principle of symbolism, idols. That's why they brought in very many idols. Now, doesn't matter what is the shape of the window, what is the size of the window, what is the position of that window, it doesn't make any difference. You just have to go near the window and open and look up. That's all. You get the sky. There's no necessity. Our problem is, no, the window has to be only circle. Another fellow says, no, window has to be square. No, window has to be rectangle. Now, we say it doesn't make any difference. What is the point in arguing about which shape of the window is better to see the sky? A group of people who fight about which shape is better. This shape or that doesn't make any difference. Whatever shape that you have, whatever size that you have, what you are supposed to do is open the window and see. The problem is you are standing apart and admiring the beauty of the window. You can go on looking at the window. Rest of your life you can keep looking at it. You will never get a glimpse of sky. You have to penetrate. You have to go through the window. You have to go beyond the window to see the sky. The purpose of the window itself is what? To establish the link between the inner and the outer space. That's what it is. If no windows are there, that's called tomb. Isn't it? There's no window at all. You put a fellow inside and build walls all around him. That's a tomb. That's not a home. You build a house with what? With windows. Every room should have a window. Why? That's the link. Similarly, these masters also had created this idols only to dissolve. The form should dissolve into that formless. But the interesting point is the form can never dissolve into formless. Why? Because they are two different things, isn't it? Our logical mind will say, sir, how can form become formless? Because they are two different things, contradicting things. How can they merge into one? How can they become one? See, the student is supposed to be moving from the form to formless, and those who have created it created the form. The creators of the form moved from the formless to form. They come from the opposite direction. We move in this direction, they come from the opposite direction. The sculptor sees the stone and he sees the sculpture inside it. That's what they say. The picture, the man, that God was hidden in the stone. But what did I do then, sir? I just chipped off all the unnecessary things. It was also there. So I just removed what is not necessary. What is there is the sculpture. So the sculptor gives birth to the idol. Right? It is the devotee who is breathing life into that stone through worship and transforms that into deity. You see that? What is the job of a sculptor? Is he sculpts. He just creates a form, that's it. And he gives a shape. He gives a particular shape to that stone. That stone has no shape. What is the job of him? Is he gives a shape to that crude, shapeless stone. Then it is worship that breathes life into that shape, whatever the shape is, and makes it an idol and makes it a deity, transforms that into deity. That's why when you are not doing that, you look at it, it just looks, at best you can appreciate what? The shape. You know, I've seen people going to this temples. They stand and admire the beauty of the skulls, sculptures there. What a culture, what an art, what a technique. How they must have done this, how must have done this. You admire the shape of the stone, how they have brought shape to that stone. That's all you can do, maximum. And we think that's no, that's not what they are interested in. They are not interested in that. When they created that, they created it for a different purpose. There is a difference. Now, when you see the idols of Buddha, this various idols that you see, Buddha's idols, statues, are they representing a person or is it representing a state of mind? This is the fundamental question we have to ask. what is the idea of a person who is sculpting that stone and giving it a shape, right? What, why he is sculpting it in that form? That's why you see various idols. That's why in our tradition we have this idea of going to many temples. In yatra they go to many temples and see many gods. For what? When you see one Buddha idol, you will not understand this. When you see Buddha idols being carved out by very many people, and at different periods of time, different sculptors have sculpted that person, but they all look very similar. You will find there is something connecting all that. Different things. There is something about that idol you would start experiencing over a period of time. For this, there's no necessity that you have to go everywhere. That's not necessary. But when you do that only, you actually understand. That is why in our culture they have this practice of going from south. They go to Kashi. Those people come to Rameshwaram, and they have this 108 Divya Desams. They say Vishnu temples. How many are there, sir? They say Shakti temples. They have 53. They say, and this they say this many number. Shiva temple, not to talk about. Ganesha temple, every street. In South India, you go, Tamil Nadu. That's one of the most unique nature of Tamil Nadu. Is every street you will find on Ganesha temple. Initially, I also thought every house will have Ganesha everywhere. It took me a long time. I thought, all those people are great devotees of Ganesha. Only then I understood. They said Ganesha is kept there only to ward off eyes, it seems. Wrong, negative vibes. Strange. But that apart, why they had this practice of visiting very many is the idols are not carved out to give us a glimpse of how Buddha looked like. We never bothered about the actuality of Buddha's physique. Was he of this height? Was he of this shape? How is it that all Buddha idols, all those great masters, you see Mahavira, you see Christ, you see, all those people, all of them have sharp nose. How is it possible that all those people have same shape? Is it? Not possible, no. But then, why they sculpted it like this? So the sculpture comes from one angle. Those who have visualized that shape. I'm not talking about the actual, the sculptures that we get in Mahabalipuram and those places you go, you will find them, making it. You give them a stone, they'll make it and give you. I'm not talking about these people. They are all, carbon copy. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the fellow who started sculpting the form of Buddha. Because definitely, that's why the sculptures are far more interesting than painting. Even in painting, it is difficult. But you can bring it very close. In sculpture, it is not possible even to have a live person and make a sculpture exactly like him. If I am standing, you can bring the best of sculpture in the world. He cannot bring in me exactly. on that stone. Not possible. There is always the visualization. So those who created the sculptures of Buddha have never met Buddha. They have not seen him. Right? So they have to visualize. Now, in their visualization will start from how that mental state of Buddha or Buddhahood, if a person would have attained that sort of a thing, how he would be appearing. So they are coming from inside out. Inner state of Buddha to Buddha's appearance. How he would have been. Right? When we go, how we have to go? From outside in. When you go to somebody's house, to receive you, they will come from outside. From inside out, they will come to receive. That's how you are supposed to receive guests. You see, you come out and invite them inside. Right. Now, how you go? You are going from outside in. Unless you have that link, right entrance, he has to open that particular door through which he comes out is the same door through which you should also go. If he goes out from one door and you enter from another door, who are you? Burglar. Burglar only will come like that. Isn't it? You go from outside one door and he will come from the other side. He has come to steal. He's not a guest. He's a thief. Now, this understanding is called understanding the symbolism of the idol. How he is coming and how I am entering. If you get it, you get it. So what is the way? Now we have taken Buddha's case. Okay, we'll just see a little of that. You don't need to study the whole thing. I'm just going only one aspect of it. Because Buddha's idols, if you see how Buddha's idols were sculpted in India, very different. Buddha's idols from Japan, very different. Now you tell me who is correct. Indian Buddha, tall, broad shoulders, and chiseled body. The jawlines are perfect. He has a perfect jawline. In India, sharp nose. Japan, short, stout, pot belly. Looks so very different. Why they visualize like that? Why these people visualize like this? It's a visualization of that particular creator. What they are visualizing, they are not visualizing how actually Buddha appeared. Right now, there are a lot of people studying. Did Christ appear like what he is being seen nowadays? We all portray Christ in a particular way, right? With a beard, fair skin, and again, sharp nose. This. I say, now the scientists were so interested to study, and they say, no, it cannot be like that. What they don't understand is, gospel is not interested in the physicality of Christ's appearance. what clothes he was wearing, what dress he must be having, how he will be walking, how he would be sitting. Is a It shows how poor our understanding is. We have not understood the science of symbolism. Remember, we have completely forgotten the role it plays. What is the purpose of it? Why it was brought in? It is brought in to give us a glimpse of what? Even through the window, you are not going to be getting the entire expanse of space. You have to, you see through that window, huge, but in comparison to the total sky, what is that you are seeing through the window? Nothing, you see. But it helps you to get inspired to come out and see the sky. You can see the stars, you can see the moon through the window. Oh, this looks so beautiful. You get so interested. Somewhere down the line, you come out. That is why we have this tradition here. After this Ganesha worship here, or the same thing they do for Durga also, worship there, makes a huge, you go to Calcutta, unbelievable. The preparations, that's the city there, they say. City prepares for 9 months, 10 months they prepare only for that 1 month. They work, and build it up, build it up, build it up. And they create such a fantastic idols. They worship that to such dedication and devotion. Same thing we do for Ganesha also. Bring in and we do all the worship. Third day, what do you do? Take that and throw and come out. You just immerse it and come back. Well, why they do that? Through the window, you get inspired to see the sky. Once you are hooked onto the sky, what do you do with reference to the window? You leave that and come out, isn't it? If you're really inspired, when you see the beauty of that sky, how can you be satisfied just looking it through the window? Not possible. You would like to see more of it. Obviously, you will move away from it. That idol through which you have seen, now the purpose is done. Therefore, what you do, like the Isavasya Upanishad master says, let the elements merge with elements. He says, no, like that. He say, we have taken this material from the earth, from the world, to make a particular form, to reach to that formless. Now that I'm inspired to the formless, what I'm going to do with the form now? What do? Thankfully, you are supposed to give it back to the elements. With gratitude, you return. It's a celebration. Now, people don't understand. They think, what nonsense is this? One day before you are worshipping it, next day you are smashing it and breaking it, and they criticize. Now, it is just that, of course, the fellow who's breaking also doesn't understand, right? Why he is doing it? Because he has been accustomed to do it. Why they told after 3 days, what are they supposed to do? Got to smash it. Therefore, what to do? Smash it. It is supposed to dissolve. So they are making it through the clay. All that you have to do is what? Just throw it in the river, throw it in the water, in the ocean. What will happen? It will dissolve by itself. You don't have to do anything. But nowadays we have created all sorts of artificial things. We don't know what to do. It's not dissolving. But the tradition says what? It is supposed to dissolve. It's not dissolving. What to do now? Now start breaking it, smashing it. Still it doesn't get dissolved. That's why after 2 days you see the entire, BBMP has to, every year after this Ganesha festival is a big problem we are having now. The system is not wrong. The way in which we are implementing it is wrong. The practice is not wrong. The way in which you are practicing it is wrong. Like the Christmas tree. Christmas tree has relevance in that country. What is Christmas tree has got relevance in this country? You don't even know why that is called as a Christmas tree. And no connection. I see in houses, they have this plastic. The plastic one, every year same tree is kept. So what they do is they pull it out, keep it, decorate it. After Christmas, what they do? Pack it again, put it inside. It's a mockery. Because you have no understanding of what is that. It is relevant there. It has no relevance here. It's like Siberian dog, you bring it in Chennai and grow. Siberia. The dog which is supposed to be in Siberia, the fellow says, I brought it to Chennai. And he is so proudly, he says. I said, you have to be off crack, I said. You cannot be a sane fellow. I don't know how you are doing business, I asked him. He got really annoyed. I said, no, what do you say? I can't believe, because the animal which is supposed to be living in minus 25, 30 degrees, it will be rolling on snow happily. You bring that fellow and put him in 40 degrees positive. Minus 35 to plus 40, you bring and put him. And he takes pride about it. I say, I don't know what to call you, I said. Fortunately, he understood. He sent it back. He said, I'm sorry. If at all you have Indian breed, no. First of all, dog is, I don't understand why you need. If you need a dog, look at the mirror. Definitely you need a dog in a house. You and your wife go together and stand in front of the mirror and see. You will see 4 dogs. What is the problem? Don't do calculations now. Let's do the idols. Buddha's state is what? The inner state of Buddha represents the identification, love, compassion, peace, the state of blissful compassion. If a person were to have that sort of a thing, how he would appear, how he would be, is where the sculptor is sculpting that stone and he brings it a shape. Now, unless you connect that idea and keep looking at that stone, unless you see that and relate in that form, it is impossible for you to understand this. For which you have no capacity to generate that compassion or love that is within you by yourself. So what they say is, you keep on looking at that idol. what will happen automatically, sir? You keep looking to it so deeply. Keep on looking at it. Looking at it, looking at it, looking at it. What will happen? It will start resonating in you, because that is the essential nature of mind. Mind will resonate whatever it is looking at. And once the compassion, love, or bliss, or peace gets kindled in you, after that, there is no necessity for you to be dependent on the idol. Then what you do? You give up. That's what Buddha goes on saying. He goes on saying, in meditation, if you meet Buddha, kill him. When you meditate and you see Buddha, kill him. This is what the message of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Totapuri. Ramakrishna is a fascinating. He would learn from any master who comes in, who he comes across. Doesn't matter which things and all that. So Totapuri said, how long you are going to be hanging on to this mother, Kali, leave her and come and take a plunge into that formless reality. To which Ramakrishna said, just wait a minute. And he ran inside the temple. And Totapuri couldn't understand why he is running. He came back to Totapuri and he said, can we do that tomorrow? He said. I said, okay, come tomorrow. And next day he came. Now he said, okay, now today what you do? Leave that mother and come. Again he ran to the temple. And Totapuri couldn't understand. So he went behind him, followed Ramakrishna to see what he is doing. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was going there to that idol and he's sitting in front of that Kali. He's crying, please give me permission. Without your permission, how can I leave you and go? Totapuri got so annoyed. He said, are you mad? He said, who will give permission to leave him and go? He says, no. How can I go without her permission? And suddenly one day he got so excited and said, yeah, mother has given permission to me to leave her farm and come. Now you teach me. He thought, this man is off, Like all those, the temple authorities had trouble when they appointed, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa as the priest. All the other priests, other 3-4 fellows were there, and he is also one of the priests in the temple. So they all complained to the authorities, the temple authority, to the queen. This man is not following any tradition. He is breaking all the rules, all wrong things he is doing. So the queen got really scared. She said, no, I heard he is such a holy person. How can he do something wrong? What is he doing? You know what he does? When we bring flowers to do archana, to offer the flowers to the goddess, you know what he's doing? First thing, he'll smell it. And then he'll give. And we bring this, food, prasad. First he will eat. And then he will do the offerings to the Lord. How can he do all that? And they called him. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was summoned. They asked, what are you doing? Are you doing all this? They said, yeah, of course, I do it. You have to do that, no? He said, why? See, my mother, before she gives me anything, she will check whether it is of good quality or not. If it is not good, she will not give me. If it is good only, she will give me. That much of love and identification we should have, with goddess also. If you are in that state, then it doesn't make any difference. If you are a Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, you can do that. What? You can also smell the flower and then give. You can also eat and then give it to God. But the problem is, when you are not in that state, when you are living with those forms, what to do? With the limitations, when we are living, is the time they had created an idea. So when you are going to Buddha statue, there are two ways of going about it. One is, I have no clue, I have no idea of what it is and all that, but I go on again and again and again and again and again and again to Buddha, and as a result of my frequent association with that, my mind would start resonating that piece, automatic. This is one way of doing it. But this will take a long time. You need a long association. You cannot just get it because you have a lot of backlogs. It's exactly like if any one of you were to shift to Russia, right? You go to Russia, you can be in Russia for years, but you will never learn that language. Whereas you take your child, 2.5 year old, within 6 months, they will start speaking that language. In 6 months, they can speak Russian. You can be there for 6 years, you cannot speak. Why? What is the difference? Age. What does age means? You cannot accept that I don't know. The child can accept I don't know. That's why it can learn. Now we cannot. Any language you try to learn, you have to make it sounds very funny to your ears itself. Forget about for others. To your own ears, it will start sounding very funny. Obviously, what you will do? You laugh at it and say what? Not correct. Whereas a child doesn't have those issues. So it can easily resonate the whole thing. It can just rebound, echo. So it can use that as it can echo it very easily. But we cannot echo it. Why? There is not emptiness inside. There is so much of muck inside. Nothing can be echoed here. So the idols can throw something, but because we lack that emptiness, we can't echo it back. So for these people, this methodology won't work. Very rare, few innocent personalities can afford to do that. When you are lacking that innocence, when you believe yourself, then you have to go through the other method. Other method is what? You have to jump into the idea that is represented by the idol and then go on mulling over that idea, absorb that idea, try to debate in that idea, investigate that idea, and then continue the association. Because we have to do two things. A child doesn't have to do two things. That's why a child can learn faster. Now, humanity is no longer so innocent. We have started growing in our intelligence. Since we have started growing in our intelligence, we will be demanding what? There is something inside already. Only when it is empty, echo is possible. That's why when you go into a new house, when there is no furnitures, you speak, it echoes. And then you put some furnitures inside, No echo. Now, when your mind is emptied, then whatever that idol is throwing at you, you can echo it. It gets echoed inside, automatic. You don't have to do anything. That's why some places you go to few people, they do feel something. Why? Temporarily your mind is emptied for a small period of time. That's about it. Again and again you go, nothing will happen. For a small period of time. That's about it. You don't have to go anywhere. All that you have to do is take a cold shower. That's enough. Your mind will get emptied. That's why before worship and all that, they say, have a cold shower. Why? What it does is only that. You just pour cold water. That's all you have to do. And people don't understand. They think something mystical about. Nothing mystical there. It is just that cold water poured in that shock, you are emptied for a few seconds. And that few seconds itself looks something extraordinary for us. Therefore, what you do? You keep on doing it. You keep on doing it. After 4 or 5 times, nothing will happen. You will get acclimatized to it. You will get acclimatized to cold water bath. After that, what will happen? Nothing will happen. You see, similarly, if we cannot empty, then what you have to do, sir? You have to start getting into the investigation part. And the beauty is, those who created those idols, various idols have been created. All those idols have been created with the vision, with an idea, with the logic, with the rationale behind it. It's not just being created. Lot of thought had gone behind it. And every religion has done that. Don't think it is only with reference to Hinduism, please. Every religion in the world have used it. There's not a religion in the world which is not using it. Only difference we can say is we have got such a huge spread here. Here it is just a huge spread. That's about it. Colorful, huge spread. Whereas in the other religions, it is not having so much of varieties. That's all. Only few varieties are there. That's why this looks, only having, others are not having. Every religion has. Of those idols, the best representation is the idol of Ganesha. Because an idol should be representing what we have seen that. It should be representing the formless in the form. Only then, through this form, you can jump into formless. I hope you are all with me. The formless should be represented. Formless is what? An idea. Idea is formless. That idea should be crystallized in a form. Therefore, you can use that crystal and liquidate it again to formless. Like camphor. Camphor is what, sir? Fragrance solidified. That is why it can dissolve into fragrance again. Fragrance solidified. Therefore, it can. The sky is in contact with the window. One side window, other side is sky. It has to be connected. If there is no connection between the two, then through this, you can never see that. There has to be an invisible bridge that is connecting the window and the sky. Same way, the formless should be connected with this. The formless connection and the bridge. best representation is the form of Ganesha. If you understand the principle and then see, it is interesting, inspiring. You get a sense of awe when you look at that idol. If you don't understand this, then it will look very funny. At best, you can say what? Very good imagination, you can say. That's about it. Then to create that mental association, they had spun very many stories around it. Very many ideas have been spun around it so that you constantly maintain that association. So they said, whatever you desire, whatever your mind is wanting, they created one particular form connected to that one. The one who says, I want to gain knowledge, desire for knowledge is very, very different from desire for power, isn't it? Desire for status. Desire for knowledge is different from desire for status. They are not the same. Desire for money is different. The status is different. That is why a person, even though he is not capable of having it, he buys on installment. Isn't it? That's the idea, no? Credit card. What is credit card purchase? Forget about whether you can pay or you cannot pay. First, take the product. Enjoy it. You are not owning it. It's not yours actually. Loan. You take things on loan. Why? You are not capable of living in your own. But at the same time, what I want to live. So what to do? Borrow. And live. That desire is very, very different from that keen desire to hoard money. People, they will not spend. Keep on acquire, keep it. Let it be there, let it be there, let it be there, let it be there. Height. Have you ever seen expiry chocolates in a house? Chocolates expired. The date is passed. And the chocolate expired. Have you seen? What is chocolate expiry? It's packed and they put a date. Most of the time, it will stay for a long time. There are sometimes, because of the purchase itself, you buy it itself in the last 1 month and then it will go, correct. Chocolate expired. I saw a house in Bangalore. I couldn't believe. A delusional life that is. You don't even know what is there in the house. That's the meaning of it. Then why are you having it? You're hoarding. Hold on to. And there are fellows who will spend that money, will throw all that just to project their status. Best example is wedding. Where all the weddings. So much you spend on wedding. Why? Status. See, you throw money, but you will maintain state. The desire for status is different. The desire for this is different. That's all I'm saying. To the fellow who is having the desire for wealth, you need to create a particular form. Only then he will connect. You give him books as a gift. Hmm? Birthday gift. You give him a book. He will say useless that is. You know, original copy written by Shakespeare. I got it in this one, his own diary. I'm gifting it to you. Frida, take. What's the use of it? You throw. He can't even understand what is the use of it. Hmm. Whereas you gift him a car, he'll get so excited. Wow, car. They gifted a car for me. This one. You have to present depending upon what they desire. Same weakness of humanity, these masters have exploited. Is that you have a desire for this, a particular form. You have a desire for that, another form. You have a desire, another form. In and through that, they packed the medicine like a sugar coated pills they give you, see. So, what they do is externally, when you look at it, it is a sugar coating one. It'll look like, this Cadbury's gems, M&Ms like that, that it is like that, the tablets. But the medicine is inside. But you give that medicine directly, the child will not take. So therefore, how it has to be said? Tasty. Therefore, what? Add little sugar to it and give. This is what every mother will do. Sometimes, that medicine cannot be made like that. So what to do? Say, my mother will give me, this juice. Some juice, we'll drink cold. Immediately after that, he'll give. Why? The tongue is numb, so it will not taste anything. You will just swallow. That's all. That's what you are supposed to do. Just take one ice cube and put it in the tongue and then give that. It will swallow. Don't do all that. Huh? Okay, I'm just saying the child may get into trouble. Right? I'm just giving as an example, not as a recommendation. Right? It gets numb usually. Same way. They tempted us with that particular desire of us. So one desire is common for everybody. Everyone will have faced this. No matter where you are and what you are. You say that I have a desire for wealth. You say I have a desire for power, position, status, promotion, marriage, divorce, this, that, disease. Any desire you have, there is always one thing we encounter. That is something coming and obstructing that desire getting fulfilled. So all that we do in life is only to move towards fulfillment of a particular desire. Right? All actions. All actions are with the desire. I come and sit here and teach. What? The desire to teach. If this desire to teach is not there, I'm not going to be here. You are coming and sitting here is because of what? A desire to learn. So I have a desire, you have a desire. Now, both this desire, when we are attempting to fulfill, there is always a possibility of something coming and disturbing and obstructing our fulfillment of a desire. Right? They said, first thing is no matter which desire you have to remove the obstacle first. They said, plant one god for that exclusive. That's Ganesha job. That is why before the worship of every other god, you have to worship Ganesha first. Without worshipping Ganesha, you cannot go anywhere. Why? Because any desire you want to pursue, first thing you have to ensure is what? There is no obstacle in the pursuit of your desire and fulfillment of your desire, whatever the desire be. Same way, whatever be the God who is going to be blessing you, that particular fulfillment, there has to be an exclusive one who is a remover of all obstacle. That's why he is called Vinayak, Vigneshwar. Vigna means obstacle. He is the Lord of all obstacles. He removes all obstacles first. That is why Ganesha is worshipped first. This is sugar coating. Okay. Then what is the real medicine inside? This is only a coating I am giving. Therefore, what you have to do, worship Ganesha first before you do anything. Okay. You say, pa, I'm going for exam. Anyone who goes for exam will definitely desire for passing, whether you study or not. Right? In fact, lesser you study, greater the anxiety to pass the exam. Right? Succeed. Lesser the qualification, greater the desire. Same way here. So what you do? Go and pray to Ganesha first. Say, Appa, you go. This is what sugar has been tasted. Then what? Alake. So tasty, so nice. And you are getting it not because of Ganesha. You are getting it because of your work. Right? I don't think Ganesha will come and write your exams long. He has already written one book. If he starts writing, it will be like 108,000 shlokas he will write. One word answer, he doesn't know. You can't ask him to give, objective type answer. You can't ask Ganesha to do. You want him to write means he will write like that. So thesis only he will give. He can't give answers. You won't understand head or tail of okay, that's called a thesis. You can't understand anything. Where it started, where it ended, nothing you can understand. It will start in between, it will end in between. That's called a thesis. No beginning, no end for it. That's what Mahabharata is. He is not going to write your exams. Be happy he is not writing your exams. You will definitely fail if he were to write. Right? So, you will not write. But you will succeed. Then you say what? It's that gave me success. So what you do? Next time you go for exam, again what you do? Again go to Ganesha. Again and go. Again and then what will happen? The medicine will start working inside. If you have that innocence in you, you would start resonating what is represented. Automatic. Suppose if you are a rational type, you are an inquiring, investigative type, then slowly what will happen, sir? Why he is like that? Why that Ganesha is like this? Why this Ganesha is like this? Some temples you see Ganesha's trunk turned to the left. Some temples you see trunk turned to the right. Why? Because you keep looking at the pictures. Why Nataraja? In this place you go, he is keeping the right leg. There you go, he is keeping the left leg. Why? What is that position here? Very funny that position is. Nataraja. One leg in the air, another leg is in the ground. How much he must be swirling around so fast, his matted locks have to be spread and hang in the air. You see that Nataraja's idol. You keep looking at it, it's like a snapshot, camera. He must be dancing. He is not going to be standing and showing posture posture like our dance, people show. He's dancing in such a speed. This Patanjali could capture that particular pose. How? What is that? Inquiry will come. If you are an investigative type, if you are innocent, devotional category, you would start echoing it automatic. You don't have to do anything. It will happen automatic for him. All that is required is what? To keep having that association. That's all is required. And rational person will associate and start investigation. When he starts investigating, then comes the real medicine. Of that, the best medicine that they have seen, Sarvaroha Nivarani, they say. In Ayurveda, there is one concept they have called Sarvaroha Nivarani. Means all diseases, one medicine. One shot you take, corona, polio, this one, that one, malaria, jaundice, this, that, are all immunity. Not in this particular strain of corona. Any strain of corona, doesn't matter. SARS coming, no. Ebola, all one injection you have to take. That's all. Like that, Sarvaroha Nivarani. Like that, they found one idol starts giving us that visualization. Slowly that investigation will start and asking this question, why this person is having that elephant head? Immediately they will not give you anything. Immediately they will tell a story. And the story will be contradicting. Lot of conflicting and contradicting stories they have given. Not one single story. You see, this Ganesha Purana, there is a Purana called Ganesha Purana. And the best part is, there are 18 Puranas, I suppose all of you know, there are 18 Puranas. All 18 Puranas were written by same fellow. At least 18 fellows have written 18 Puranas. There is differences we can understand. Like Smriti. That Smriti, Parasara has written one Smriti, Yama has written one Smriti, Manu has written one Smriti. Each one has written one Smriti. So there is lot of differences in that. Why? Because authors are all different. Correct. Understandable. You come to Puranas, 18 Puranas, all 18 Puranas authored by same fellow. But when he is writing Skandam, he says what? Subramanya is supreme. Rest are all inferior to him. Even Lord Shiva is inferior to him. And he goes and writes Shiva Purana. There what he is saying, sir? Linga Purana, he is supreme. Vishnu Allah is like, puppet in front of him. Now he goes to Vishnu Purana, Bhagavata Purana, the whole thing is different there. Then he goes to write about Shakti. He says Parashakti is the one who has appointed these three fellows. So original one is who? She. And she appointed these guys and said, okay, you are COO, you are Chief Operating Officer, you are this, you are this. And she is, having a watch on these people. So every day they have to go and submit a report to her. This is what we have done today. This is what we have done today. This is what we have done today. He is paying homage to her. There. We get totally confused. Hey, in this, which is correct? All conflicts and contradictions. These contradictions were presented only to trigger the thinking in you. Remember. The contradictions were deliberately put. That is why it is ascribed to one author. If it is multiple authors, it's very easy to justify and say all this differences are because of authors are all different, therefore different. No, same author writes like that. Now, what is he trying to say then? Who is he saying as the supreme now? Ganesha Purana, Ganesha is supreme. Vishnu Purana, Vishnu is supreme. In Shiva Purana, Shiva is supreme. In Skanda, he is supreme. In Devi, that is, she is supreme. Now, who is? It is a contradiction. All are supreme, that is not possible. Correct. All are supremes, Atma. That is not possible. You can't have all supreme. Imagine all courts are Supreme Court only. How is that possible? There has to be a magistrate court, there has to be a mobile court, and then there is a state high court, and then comes the Supreme Court. There is a hierarchy there. Now suddenly you can't say there is no such, all same. Not possible. This investigation, when you start, comes the huge spectrum or the magnitude of how much conception has gone behind in creating those idols. See, because sculpting Buddha is very, relatively easy because we are talking about a man. But sculpting these gods is not a person. Then what is it? Remember, it's an idea. That idea cannot be transmitted directly to you. Why? Because you need a form for you to connect. Everyone cannot connect to the concepts directly. It's not possible. You need something. Everyone can't understand. To make it understandable, relatable, and use that as a launch pad to plunge into the formless. But remember, that is not in the hands of the idol. It is in the word called worship. It is not in worship. It is in the hands of the worshipper. The worshipper, through worship, transforms that statue into a deity. In that transformation, he gets transformed. Remember this. It's not there. But without it, you cannot do that also. So you need that idol. And every religion has used it as a fantastic technique. So idol worship is what, sir? It is through the worship you do it. Depending upon what is your nature. If you are dominated by devotion, innocence, then that worship, that idol, that shape will become an echo. It will echo inside you. Whatever is inside there will start echoing inside you. Same way. You become what you see. That's what it means. Whatever you keep on seeing. That's what someone sent me a few years back. They sent a picture of dogs and dog owners. Very interesting. They look very similar. And what is interesting is the dog owner will appear like a dog. Dogs will never transform into dog owner. That never happens. The converse never happens. This happens. It's true. It's there. You can check it out in YouTube. You can type it and see. You'll see the pictures of people, dogs and dog owners. Keep on looking at the dog. You will start becoming like that. Whatever you look, you become over a period of time. But to keep on looking at it, there has to be some connection, isn't it? You are attracted to a beautiful face of someone. Right? Somebody's face looks beautiful. This is the crux of it. Right? The catch is this. You get attracted to a face and say that's a beautiful face. Not because of that person is beautiful. Because that person corresponds with your inner idea of beauty. See, that is what a layman calls as beauty lies in beholder's eyes. You see, there has to be something connected to that. So when that gets connected, you would start associating with it more and more and more, more and more and more. You start associating with it more and more. It starts echoing inside you. It represents and echoes. For innocent, for intelligence, what is it, sir? It gives a tremendous feeder for thinking and inquiry. How? Through this principle of symbolism and through a lot of contradictions, contradicting informations that is spun around that personality, that idol, that form. Now, here we move only to the second part of it. First part of it, you have to work it out. You have to do it on your own. The second part of it is where we do this investigation and say, what is the representation of this? Why it is given that form? What that form represents? What is the form of Nataraja? What is the form of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva? And why? What about their concerts? All this are designed for inquiring mind. But the principle behind this is this. Through that form, using that form as a launch pad, you plunge into formless. And they are not contradictory, they are connected. How that connection is through these inner things. So, idol and worship. Remember this word. You'll be using that terminology, idol worship, idol worship. You know, what is this idol worship, sir? You are not worshipping the shape. You are worshipping something in that shape. What you are worshipping depends on you. It's not dependent on that. Example, beauty. The person appears beautiful, not because that person is inherently beautiful, because that person corresponds, resonates. That person is a reflection of your concept of beauty. If I ask you what is your concept of beauty, very difficult to define. But when you see someone as beautiful, immediately that we can understand what is your concept of beauty. You call this person as beautiful. Yeah, like I always say, South Indian actress, heroine, right? They have to have they're all of a particular. North Indian, Bollywood heroines are different. Bollywood heroine is what? Hourglass. Right? South Indian heroine, cylinder. So look at them, no, all the heroines here, who are all successful here. All successful heroines you see here. Of particular. That shows what? What is the concept of beauty here? There's many times I wonder, there's beauty, competitions and all they hold, I say, none of them look beautiful. I don't know what is beauty in their faces. Look so. Why? It's got nothing to do with that. It's to do with what? My concept of beauty. Now, if I were to explain what is your concept of beauty, very difficult. But from what I admire, who I call as beautiful, we can understand what is my concept of beauty. See, same way. You can't understand an idea as an idea, but when that idea gets a form, it's easy to understand. That is the so to communicate it also it becomes easier. To transfer that idea from one person to another person is more difficult, but to transfer a form is much easier. And that form would carry that idea along with it. By probing into that form, you reach the idea. And through that idea, you resonate, you echo. And your idea gets further reinforced. Through the reinforcement of that idea, slowly you leave the form, you leave the shape, you leave that and plunge into the formless. Okay. All that we have seen today is what is idol worship. I'll see you in the next class.